So is this my next beef? No, I'm kidding. I don't want any disrespect toward anybody after this. I just kind of want to clarify some things that I said in a review recently, because when I do those reviews, I don't expect the people whose album I'm reviewing to even see it. There's been a couple times where it's happened, positive and negative, you know, whatever, it's going to happen. Recently, I reviewed the new Grey Daze album, The Phoenix, and if you don't know who Grey Daze is, that was Chester Bennington's band before Linkin Park back in the day, and before he tragically passed away, he and his band got back together and they were having some old master recordings redone so they can turn them into the album that ended up being Amends. And even after Chester's passing, the band decided that they were going to release the album as a tribute to Chester, and I thought it was a really fitting tribute. It was a really good record, and really just had the emotion, I think, that we were expecting coming from it. But that this past album, The Phoenix, just seemed more like, I'll put quote-unquote grave robbing at its best. I wasn't stating or saying that this is what the band was doing. I was just saying this album came off more like that. It didn't feel like the tribute that the last one was, and it just kind of felt like, let's grave dig now at this point. You know, we still have these audio clips and we can still use Chester's name, and that's where I think it starts getting a little disrespectful in a way, and it serves no purpose at this point. Like, I just don't understand, other than, okay, now it's starting to really feel like they're just using his name to, you know, gain off of it, and that's where it becomes a little bit problematic. Because it seemed like after Amends they were like, well, we still have some other vocal tracks that we can use that we don't want to go to waste, why don't we do this? And to me, that's where it kind of sways between, is it a tribute, or are you just taking advantage now? Because, you know, I don't like when there's leftover shit from someone who's passed on and they're not here to basically give their 2 cents as to how it sounds, or even say, yeah, I want this out there. They've done it plenty of times with rappers, and it gets clear, it gets obvious, and I never said that with this, but it appears that a band member in the band got a little, I don't even want to use the word offended, but I think he's more confused as to what I meant by grave robbing in the review itself. The guy's name is Kristen Davis. He is a guitarist in the band, and apparently he's got a YouTube account that he uses because this was a comment he left on that video, that review that I did. And again, before I read this, I don't want any hate sent toward anybody. I'm just reading this so that way you can get the gist of what I'm talking about and what I'm about to say, and kind of understand the question that he was asking. So he says, explain to me grave robbing at its best. How have we robbed Chester's grave? I can appreciate if you don't like the songs or the band music is subjective, but insinuating that our motive is to make money off of a lifelong friend after he has passed is laughable. I consider this a personal attack and it's completely unfounded. What are you basing this on? Kristen, Grey Daze. I don't really like the personal attack part, because again, that's not what this was, and if you think that's what this is, then I do sincerely apologize. I don't want any, like, legal action or anything taken against me. Not that I think that they would stoop to that level, but again, I think I explained myself before where, you know what, I'll say this. I can appreciate that he says that he can appreciate if I don't like the songs or the band. Music is subjective. I like the band. I just felt like with this batch of songs and the second go-round of trying to remember Chester, it didn't feel like the tribute. It felt more like taking advantage of having more of his vocals out there. Because, you know, I feel like you can still go on as a band. I'm not saying that since you have Amends out and that was like the tribute to Chester, you shouldn't do it anymore. No, you can continue going whether somebody else in the band sings or you get a new singer or what. It just felt to me that you were using the leftovers that weren't on Amends for this album, and you were using the fact that, oh, more of Chester's vocals are going to be on it. It just came off less tribute and more grave robbing in this sort. I didn't even say that you guys were grave robbing. I just said it sounded like that, it came off like that. I would never accuse anybody of doing that, and like I said, if it sounded like I did, then I sincerely apologize, but in the end, I don't want the band to think that I'm trying to sit here and talk shit about them, or have people go out there and attack them, because that's not my motive. My motive was to review the album and basically tell you what I heard, and that's what it sounded like to me, and that's all. It's harmless. I don't really think anything else, and again, I wasn't trying to insinuate anything other than it didn't feel like the tribute that they once had with Amends. It felt more forceful than the last, but, you know, obviously this doesn't seem to be their intentions. They still want to pass on and show and the greatness of Chester through tributes, and again, okay, fine, you know what, that's great. I don't want any of this to go any further, and I think this is just kind of like the nail in the coffin. Like, look, you said what you had to say, I'm here clarifying, and I feel like we both kind of misunderstood each other in one way, and if this was truly a tribute to Chester, then okay, you have another tribute to Chester. I just maybe didn't like it as much as the first, but I still never said fully that that's what you guys were doing. It just kind of, I guess, became misconstrued, and I can understand that sometimes. I really was, it's not that I was mad, I just have a tendency to talk fast sometimes, and sometimes I say something and not realize that I should have said it another way. Maybe that would have sounded better, but that's a problem that I have that I know I need to fix. But, you know, I kind of, you know, shout out Kristen for responding and letting me know how it is, because it kind of not only gives me a reality check, but it gives me more info as to the actual intentions and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Like, hearing it from a band member, it makes me feel like, you know, their intentions weren't bad. Sometimes you can tell, but in this case, the way Kristen sounded, it was like, look, we're still just trying to honor a fallen friend, it's nothing more, and he wanted to basically just have me clarify what I wanted to say, and there you go. There's the clarification. I don't want this to turn into anything else. It's fine, it's over with, and that's it. I still stand by my album review, and he'll stand by the albums that they make and the songs that they put out, and that's great. That's your band. You should feel confident about what you're making and putting out there, just like I do when it comes to my videos and my reviews and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it, guys. I don't really know if I should use my normal outro, because that would just seem weird in a video like this, but yeah, no, go check out Grey Daze, go check out their album The Phoenix, go check out Amends, because I just feel like, you know, they have some great songs out there. They're a highly, should I even say underrated band? I mean, they're getting airplay, but I mean, nobody really talks about them as often as I think somebody should. Even after Amends came out, it was just kind of like, you know, they'd play a couple songs on the radio and that was that, but I recommend you go check them out, because they are amazing, and they even have some of these songs that you're hearing now. You can listen to the older versions on YouTube. Some of them even sound better than the newer versions, so I would definitely go ahead and recommend you do that. But that's it for me. That's really all I gotta say. Again, to Grey Daze, I apologize if anything I said was misconstrued or came out as hateful or you felt attacked. That wasn't my intentions, and I hope that this can just kind of end this, and hopefully we can just continue on, go our separate ways with respect for each other, because I respect what you do, and I hope that you can send me respect back for what I do. But yeah, just stay safe out there, and I guess I will catch you all in the next one.